So like...
Oh, no, two-time unified heavyweight champion, so far so good.
Oh, with boxing, yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying now is there's another level of fitness.
Yeah. You guys wanted me to go bigger? How about twice as big?
You're right. If Anthony Joshua was to do what he done to Ngannou, to Jake Paul, that's like life-changing injuries.
Anthony Joshua has shocked fans with a powerful new build that looks ready for serious damage. He appears lean, focused, and more explosive than ever. AJ's new shape is now a major topic in the boxing world and has created a storm on social media while sending a strong warning toward Jake Paul. From his rock-hard shoulders to a refreshed stance that reminds people of his early title run, Joshua's updated form is more than just appearance. It is a clear message.
Only way we're gonna win a 12-round fight is if you push yourself in the gym. So, yeah, that's what I like about the world-class boxing gym.
Everyone says they want to be a world champ, but people are not willing to do what it takes to become a world champ. And even in this gym, it's like you're put through the test because, I mean, it's one thing to say you want to hang out with champs and hang out with other fighters, another thing to be able to endure the workout and endure the work, so it's a big thing. He's been pushing himself. He's asking me, what can I do more? How can I be better? How can I build my fitness more? And that's really a sign of a great individual and a great champion, someone who really wants to be better.
Joshua said his size did not appear overnight. He explained that it is simply his natural build and that he only puts in steady work to bring it out. He noted that this natural strength becomes dangerous once fully trained and activated for a fight. With Jake Paul set as the next opponent, Joshua made it clear he is not adding muscle for looks. He is unlocking what he already has. And once the punches start landing, that could be real trouble for Jake.
Cardio, a lot of road work. So even though I'm big, this is just genetics.
Right, definitely, yeah.
It's not like I spend hours in the gym like lifting. You can't run 10 miles and only spar 4 rounds. You have to run 4 miles and spar 10 rounds. Yeah, like that. What I'm trying to say is gym work's important with your coach. All this stuff is just the core stuff. This stuff is just the extra add-ons that you're gonna get. But you have to have good technique. You have to have a good understanding of boxing. Like, that's your muscle, your brain. That's what a coach is gonna train you mostly. Like, he wants to train this. And if you've got that at its strongest, yeah, I feel like you'll be good.
Yeah, and so far so good for AJ, right? So far so good.
Jake Paul has openly talked about the huge size gap between him and Anthony Joshua. Instead of running from it, he is using it as extra drive. Paul said people have told him for years to face fighters his own size. So he went even further by choosing someone twice as big. He believes this fight is the ultimate test and proves he refuses to fear risk, criticism, or the pressure of facing a heavyweight force like Joshua. Paul says that if people want to test his legitimacy, then taking on a giant is the right stage. Still, the massive physical difference adds danger that even Paul cannot ignore.
You guys wanted me to go bigger? How about twice as big? Literally, he's twice as big as Gervonta. He's 6'6", 260 pounds with an 82-inch reach. I mean, just look at us next to each other. Two-time heavyweight champion of the world, an Olympic gold medalist. While he was winning Olympic gold, I was filming Vines in high school. What'd you say? AJ is a knockout artist with fights that have literally ended in seconds. He's fought legends, Klitschko, Usyk, Ruiz, Ngannou.
Biggest shot I have seen live.
The tale of the tape for Anthony Joshua against Jake Paul shows a major mismatch that could strongly affect the fight. Joshua stands 6'6" with an 82-inch reach and a natural heavyweight body at over 240 pounds. Jake Paul at 6'1" with a 76-inch reach and around 200 pounds is giving up height, weight, and power. Joshua's long reach helps him control range, making it tougher for Paul to get close without taking hits. The weight gap means Joshua's punches carry much greater force while Paul must depend on speed, movement, and timing. If Joshua uses his size wisely, he could turn the fight into an overwhelming challenge for Jake.
tape. Now looking at the age difference, we've got 28 years old compared to 36 years old. So I guess the advantage there goes a little bit towards Jake Paul. 28-year-old is better than a 36-year-old. But that being said, we've got talking about experience and everything else. What comes with being 36 years old at Anthony Joshua's level. And then like I mentioned, the heavyweights kind of seem to prime a little bit older. Now coming down to the height and the weight. This is the big one. 6'1" versus 6'6". 200 pound versus 252 pound. We got a 252 pounder in Anthony Joshua. The reach advantage is a lot, which we would expect. Amateur fights, we can see that Jake's only had one, where AJ's had 43, but 43 of them are including at the highest level, Olympic level. And yes, he won the Olympic bloody gold medal, if I don't need to remind you. Then the pro record, Jake Paul has had 13 fights, lost one. AJ has had 28 fights and he's lost 4 with 25 KOs. And the one person that Jake Paul lost to was Tommy Fury. Now, can we compare Tommy Fury with Anthony Joshua? Not at all.
The tale of the tape for Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul clearly shows a major imbalance that could shape the entire match. Joshua is 6'6" with an 82-inch reach and holds a real heavyweight frame that sits above 240 pounds. Jake Paul stands 6'1" with a 76-inch reach and weighs around 200 pounds, giving up serious advantages in all areas. Joshua's longer reach lets him manage distance and forces Paul to take risks just to get in close. The weight gap means AJ hits far harder while Paul must focus on speed, sharp movement and timing. If Joshua uses his natural mass, the fight could feel physically brutal for Jake.
What do you say to the people who say Anthony is ruining his legacy just by taking this fight?
Fans don't respect what he's done in the sport already. He's an Olympic gold medalist, 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world.
I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight?
It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. It wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going in there to knock out Jake Paul.
Matchroom Boxing CEO Frank Smith has taken a cautious view about the idea of Anthony Joshua facing Jake Paul. He has not completely ruled the fight out yet. He said on the Ariel Helwani show that Joshua's return is likely but not with Paul at the moment. He pointed out the huge difference in backgrounds, noting that Paul's rise has been nothing like the elite level run Joshua has faced. Smith confirmed that talks about a future Paul fight are still happening for early 2026, which shows Matchroom is open to the hype, though he stays realistic about the chaos of the sport.
I asked that because I remember when like Tyson fought Ngannou the first time, he was like, this isn't my cup of tea, and then obviously he ended up fighting Ngannou, and so I didn't know if this was a bridge too far for him.
No, I think for AJ it was just, look, he's done everything in the sport. He's been, like I say, he's a 2-time unified champion. He's fought the best, the elite fighters in, Alexander Usyk twice. And for him, it's just, right, I want to do things that interest me, motivate me. And obviously, if you can go and do that for a load of money against someone, fair play. I think me and Jake Paul might be more competitive than Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua.
Oh my dear.
I actually want to make, as the comeback fight for Jake Paul, Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't you think that would be big? As the comeback fight.
Yeah, like meaning after he loses this one.
For Jake's comeback fight.
You think Eddie would be down?
For money.
Could you imagine?
I know. I'd happily negotiate with Nikisa.
Really?
Yeah.
Tony Bellew has shared strong doubts about the Joshua versus Paul matchup ever taking place. He believes the fight is a major mismatch. Joshua's size, power, and experience are so far ahead that Paul would face real danger. Bellew also thinks the fight is mainly about money and says Paul is risking his well-being just for a payout. He added that the fight would not damage Joshua's legacy, but if it happens, Joshua would control every moment. To Bellew, the whole idea feels like entertainment instead of a real sporting challenge.
I don't believe a single thing until literally I see them in a ring together. He was supposed to fight Gervonta Davis, wasn't he? Who's 5 stone lighter and is 5 stone lighter and 8 inches shorter. So I don't believe anything. Until they're in a ring together, I don't believe nothing.
Obviously AJ was meant to fight in an 8-rounder. I think Eddie said to me earlier against...
In an 8-rounder?
Yeah, against a top 120 opponent on BoxRec that none of us would have heard of.
Okay.
Just a kind of confidence, go and get a knockout type victory. I suppose you can go and do that against Jake Paul and earn an absolute fortune from
Listen, I've said before and I'll say it again. Boxing is a brutal, brutal business.
go and make as much as you can, as quick as you can. Once you've achieved your dream and goals of becoming a world champion, there's nothing left to do besides make money. What are you chasing? You've won all the belts. You know, I think he's missing a WBC, I think that's about it. Go and get the belts and that's it. Move on.
Do you believe it should be sanctioned?
What I believe doesn't matter.
No, but I'm just curious.
What I believe doesn't matter because some governing body will.
Of course.
Or some sanctioning body will.
Of course.
Some
the Florida State
organisation. Yeah, absolute maniacs. But you know, that's another argument. That's another cause. It's like the one I heard Chris Eubank Senior talking about on the radio the other day. You're talking about safety of fighters. Champ, you were the worst for it. You went up to cruiserweight when you were super middleweight and didn't do it once but twice. And then you're saying people should have saved you from yourself. No, that's why we're fighters. So it's boxing. We know what we sign up for. We know what goes on. It is what it is.
Many experts believe it would be embarrassing for Anthony Joshua if he fails to knock out Jake Paul within the first few minutes. They view this matchup as a huge mismatch. So anything short of a dominant knockout could hurt Joshua's image. They still wonder if this is even a serious fight.
It's a proper fight, is it? We'll hear some proper talk then. If Anthony Joshua doesn't knock out Jake Paul within 6 minutes, it's embarrassing. Not only for him, but also for the sport of boxing. And if he does knock him out within 6 minutes, because it's a proper fight, boxing better pray that there's no lasting damage to Jake Paul. The phrase, fuck around and find out, springs to mind. This is not a game. You don't play boxing. Especially not with a two-time unified heavyweight world champion in his athletic prime. If you're gonna deal with clowns, expect a circus.
Johnny Nelson says AJ is stuck in a no-win situation. If Paul makes it through the whole fight, people will question Joshua's level and focus. Critics argue that a proven heavyweight should finish Paul quickly. Anything long or competitive would weaken the idea that this is more than a payday. They insist that it must be a real fight.
Say that it's going to be a proper fight.
I do believe it because AJ's involved, and I think AJ'd struggle to he's going to take enough flack over this, but again, it's money talk. So I think AJ will struggle because it's an all-win situation. If he goes in there and Jake Paul lasts the distance, what does he tell you about AJ? Apart from he's just earned an extra 15 million quid. If he goes there and struggles with Jake Paul, then what's he say about AJ? Your heydays are well and truly over. If he goes in there and knocks him out, then I'll say that's to be expected. So the glory, there's probably not much glory in it, apart from the haters of Jake Paul to say, right, I've got rid of this kid. I think it's very brave of Jake Paul. So now the problem child has got to believe this fight's actually happening. So now you've got our attention. So now you've got to back up the boast. It's not about, you're not playing tiddlywink. This is the only game you can't play. You can play football, golf, tennis, you can't play boxing.
Nelson praised Paul for his smart business skills, saying he is a genius at selling and promoting himself. But he doubts Paul as a true high-level fighter. Nelson says Paul is a solid domestic-level competitor yet earns world champion-level money without coming up the traditional way of growing in the gym or climbing the ranks. To Nelson, Paul's main strength is his online reach and promotion, not elite boxing ability.
Lost to Daniel Dubois. He's going to be 35 years of age. It's crazy what I'm about to ask you, but can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that. They get mad at me that I gave too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. And he put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I don't know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur background and the things that you usually need to be a top guy.
Jake Paul has goals beyond boxing since he has also talked about facing MMA star Conor McGregor. Paul claims his boxing is improving while McGregor is slowing down with age. Many doubt this idea due to McGregor's long combat sports history. Paul's comments show his confidence and his strategy of calling out big names to boost his own status. Many fans want to see Joshua face Paul because they believe Joshua would dominate and humble him. Paul's habit of challenging top fighters while claiming superiority has made him very polarizing. Many fans feel that his confidence in fighting Joshua is unrealistic due to the huge gap in skill, size, and experience. Still, the possibility of the fight has created massive interest, with many hoping Joshua will silence Paul in the ring.
You have got to be taking the mick. Jake Paul has called out Anthony Joshua and claims, "I will fucking beat Anthony Joshua's ass." You know what? I want this to happen, just so Anthony Joshua could just absolutely decimate this man right here. So first he fights Tommy Fury, a legitimate professional boxer, and he loses. Then he fights an OAP and Mike Tyson and beats him. Obviously, he's nearly 60 years old. Then he goes to try and fight Canelo, which fell through, thankfully. Then he tried to fight Tank Davis, which again fell through. And now he wants to fight Anthony Joshua, a legit world-level heavyweight boxer. Anthony Joshua is someone that I've always looked up to and probably one of my favourite boxers to this day and age. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind Jake Paul here and there, but there's just things he does in the sport that I don't agree with at all. And fighting Anthony Joshua, listen, I'm all here for it, just to see him get knocked clean out. The fact that he thinks he can compete with these high-level boxers, even though he lost to Tommy Fury, is just laughable. But how long does it take for Anthony Joshua to knock Jake Paul out? I'm saying 5 seconds.
Many boxing analysts say Jake Paul has become the biggest moneymaker in the sport because he earns huge amounts from every direction. In 2021, he reportedly made over $40 million from boxing alone. His pay-per-view events bring in major revenue, and he is his own promoter through Most Valuable Promotions. He also cashes in on his massive social media following through brand deals and online content. Paul often calls out boxing legends offering giant paydays, then mocks them after fights. His loss to Tommy Fury was his first as a pro. Yet he still promotes himself as the top attraction in the sport.
Wasn't the Tyson-Jake fight, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's amazing they got paid so much money for that.
25 million and 40 million?
I think 20 and 40. Yeah, I think that's what I'd heard. You know, which I'm happy Mike got the money, and I'm happy that he didn't get hurt. That was my fear, that it was going to be a real fight and he was going to get hurt.
You've known him for a long time. I've known him for a long time.
I love that dude.
Me too.
And he was a larger-than-life figure in my childhood.
Truly, me
when
too.
I was a kid, when he was the champ, it was like, people don't understand what a champ he was. Like, he wasn't just the heavyweight champion of the world. He was an executioner. Like,
Truly.
Every fight was just a matter of how long was it going to last.
Which fight it was that I went to go see a couple of fights, and I actually went to go see Julio Cesar Chavez fight, and that's when I met Tyson in the green room.
Unlike some traditional fighters who reject spectacle boxing, Anthony Joshua has taken a more balanced view. He said YouTube boxing has helped the sport by bringing in new fans and raising overall attention. Joshua admits that fighters like Jake Paul have introduced boxing to younger audiences who may not have watched before.
What do you make of this YouTube
10
push
out
of
of
the
10.
boxing scene?
I'm telling you, it's good for boxing because I'm saying it's showing people you can fight someone that is well-known, credible, can fight, marketable, without a championship, and have that same effect early on in your career, and you can still get all the rewards anyway. So I think that they're showing guys, oh, hang on a minute, there's so much potential in boxing regardless of championships, and I think it's good because now people start taking more risks early on. These guys coming into the game are changing the landscape for the better, showcasing that if you have a business mind on, marketable, creative, content driven, obviously talented, you can generate big business and do great things.
What is your view? Will AJ dominate, or can Jake shock the world? Tell us your thoughts below.